yes. All right, so let's talk a little bit of Stephen A. Smith. He went viral. I covered this a bit yesterday because I guess he had an issue that, and I'm paraphrasing here, that the Will Smith and Martin Lawrence iconic franchise, fourth installment, Bad Boys for Life, did so
Mm-hmm.
well. And he brought up Chris Rock being slapped by Will Smith at the Oscars and said that Will Smith needs to sit down and have a talk with the black community. And now he's responding to the backlash. So I want to play a clip, but I want to also kind of reiterate what I was saying yesterday. Uh, I stand by. I think it was terrible what Will Smith did. I know you feel a little differently about it, Reese. But one, I don't like to see black men hitting each other. So that
Mm-hmm.
it's not about the Oscars. The Oscars. It isn't about that. I just don't like to see that. I don't like World Star Hip Hop videos of that. I don't like to see that. And I thought Will Smith was being a privileged, petulant celebrity by getting on a stage and smacking the hell out of somebody. Chris Rock has daughters. I thought it was wrong and trifling and disrespectful, and it was just wrong to me in every way, shape, or form. But it is not up to Stephen A. Smith to give this grand opinion or like he's some kind of psychologist on how Chris Rock feels. Chris Rock has spoken out. Chris Rock talked about it in his comedy special. He's addressed it. And
Extensively.
Chris Rock has said he hasn't spoken to Will Smith, and that's his prerogative.
Yeah.
I don't think Chris Rock has to talk to Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
You never got to
That's
talk to him
fine.
again.
Yeah.
That was wrong, and that's, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a couple of years now. I don't believe in crucifying the man for a ridiculous, terrible thing he did. So I want to just play a clip. This is an edited version of his longer 4-minute,
Yeah.
speech. And listen to this.
Will Smith slapping Chris Rock was a devastating thing. I'm not talking just for Chris Rock, who's a friend of mine. I'm talking for the black community because obviously Will Packer was the first black producer to be doing the Oscars in its history. And that was a devastating blow to him. Will Smith came out with Emancipation a year later for Apple and all of that stuff.
Hold on one second. I'm sorry. This was not devastating for the black community. These were two rich, privileged men, and there was a slap at the Oscars. I cannot stand. This pisses me off. Any group that does this, whether it's LGBT folks or black folks, that somebody doing this makes all of us look bad.
Right.
That is some old school race. It's just, that's such a bizarre thing to say. That's ridiculous. It was not.
Right.
What's devastating for the black community, Reese Colbert, is low wages.
Yeah.
Not having access to fair housing, health care.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot get gun legislation through Congress.
Yep.
Voter suppression.
The child tax
by
credit
Maya Angelou being
expiring.
banned.
Mm-hmm.
Say it again.
The child tax credit expiring.
The Affordable Connectivity Program expiring. Those are the things that are devastating. Not two rich, privileged guys at the Oscars. That's so out of context. That would be like me saying it was devastating for you to sit down and babble with Sean Hannity, Stephen A. Smith. I mean, I wouldn't say something as ridiculous as that.
Yeah.
On Fox News. This is not, that's really dramatic and silly and just over the top and just offensive.
Yeah.
Offensive to who we are as black people, where we are, and to put all that pressure on Will Smith, that's ridiculous. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Will Smith was sensational in that movie. So was Antoine Fuqua, the esteemed director and producer extraordinaire. One could easily argue that both of them would have won an Oscar for that, and that Will slap cost Will Smith and Antoine Fuqua an Oscar. That's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about black folks everywhere.
I'm sorry. Pause it. This worshiping of the Oscar. He's talking about emancipation.
Yeah, that was a good movie, but
it was good.
Will Smith survived.
I mean, Will Smith. Who cares about the Oscars? Yeah. Who cares about it? It's this worshiping And this Stephen A. Smith frames himself as being some, great. Who cares about the ride or die for the Oscars? Will Smith won his Oscar. It happened. And let's also add, I don't feel this way. There were some folks that didn't want to see another film about slavery, with emancipation. I don't feel that way at all. So there's a whole long conversation we can get into when black movies come out and they tackle slavery. I feel differently. I feel like we don't know slavery like we think we do.
Mm-hmm.
I know we think we've had roots and 12 years a slave, but we actually don't know slavery like we think we do. And then you never hear narratives like, oh, stop focusing on the Holocaust. But this idea this smack cost Will Smith and Antoine Fuqua the Oscar. Why is Antoine Fuqua in it?
Did he like why is he in it? Why are you speaking for him?
I'm sorry. Okay, play the rest.
Aspiring to be in this business, aspiring to succeed, and something like that happens, and it was a blemish on all of us. Because I know how much white America reveres Will Smith. And then I got a call from my man Charlie Mack. Charlie Mack is Will Smith's former security, good friend of Will Smith, closely connected to Will Smith for decades. I've known Charlie Mack for nearly 30 years. I got a lot of love for him. And he was on fire, calling me because he disagreed with my opinion.
Oh, was that it? Oh, okay. Well, basically, at the end of it, he says that Charlie Mack said, "What about Grace?" No, that actually wasn't it. That's weird. There must be a cutoff. Charlie Mack said, "What about Grace?" and also said, "What about the ways how this movie, Martin Lawrence is also in the movie. It's not just about Will Smith, and that all the people who get a job because of a movie like this." So I don't want to say he apologized, but he responded to the black backlash. But who knew this smack was a blemish on all of us, Reese? This smack was a blemish on all of us. Who knew? Who knew this was the blemish of our lifetime?
Insane.
Wow. Go ahead, Reese Colbert. Go ahead.
Just unhinged. Like Stephen A. Smith, the white man's ice is not colder. This white-centric worldview that you have that exalts white acceptance and then puts a black man, an individual, under the weight of the black community and attaches the entire black community to the actions of one man. You got to fix that. And I'm confused, not really, by why you have more smoke for Will Smith for an old ass slap than you did for Donald Trump. You want to talk about how it makes us look, How does it make us look when you attach criminality to black people and say that black people identify with the fucking convicted felon, Donald J. Trump? How does that make us look?
You said a word.
You want to talk about destructive to the community. How is it that funky ass slap stands out more to you than the Buffalo mass shooting that's happened since then? Okay, let's not even talk about violence against black people. That doesn't register to you. Why is it that you think an award show being produced? Mind you, Will Packer produces plenty of successful things. I watch all his shows on OWN Network. Okay?
Legend at this point.
Hello.
At this point, he's a legend. Yeah,
he is
incredible.
Will Smith, Westbrook Entertainment produces a lot of successful things.
Overbrook
Entertainment. Yeah.
All good.
So these black men ain't hurting for nothing. Okay. I haven't heard you open up your motherfucking mouth about the Fearless Fund, about the way that now black people cannot have specifically targeted things for us. Black women. Oh, maybe it doesn't register because it's a black woman thing. I don't know how you became the arbiter, the spokesperson of the black race, but just zip it. Just speak for yourself. You can have your opinion. I don't care what your opinion is. But why are we, the black community of the United States of America, in it? How are you speaking for us? We are not in it. Will Smith does not owe us anything. Will Smith had whatever situation he had with Chris Rock. We all saw it. Chris Rock had a whole ass comedy special, talked about it, called Jada Smith every bitch in the book did you speak out about how detrimental it is to sit up there and call a woman who, by the way, did nothing in the situation, bitch. No, you went on a misogynistic rant against Jada Pinkett Smith, your damn self. So you need to shut the fuck up when it comes to speaking for us. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. And we could just ignore your opinion in peace because it's really not relevant. But then you want to bring us all in it, and now we got to address you. Will Smith doesn't owe us anything. Bad Boys, Ride or Die was spectacular. Him and Martin Lawrence are probably one of the greatest action duos ever
of all time.
Of all time, period, for a successful
and
film.
the most longevity. The buddy cop duo genre. Absolutely.
Mind you, original characters. This isn't a Disney film. No shade to Disney, but I'm just saying this is something that is, it was actually Martin's movie first.
Absolutely.
And he brought in Will Smith.
Yeah, it's a good story. Yeah, it's a good, if you believe in, be a credit to your race and the racial uplifted movement and don't shame the race, which is stuff like my grandfather's generation would have said, I would think you'd be, in Jubilee over Bad Boys. I mean, and I can't stand that don't shame the race bullshit. I could never like that kind of stuff. I think we should have the beauty to be as ratchet, if you believe in ratchet, odds can, button up, loose, whatever, action, beauty of all of it. That's the real freedom, when you can have the range of beauty and blackness. And I'm not going to lean into, it's a blemish for all of us. No, it's not.
It's not. It's not. It's not even. But
they make us look bad.
How? I don't care about what Will Smith did 4 years ago. Or two, however many. I don't even know how many years ago it was, but some years ago. Okay. And the last thing I would say too, if you want to talk about the benefiting the black race, and apparently entertainment and movies being made benefits it, we still live in an environment where every single black film, we have to prove that we are marketable, that people want to see our stories, that black audiences actually go to the movies, and that it's worth having a
even
movie.
Being a writer.
Yes.
I had to, do you know how difficult it was to get this book published? Whether you're a writer, whether you're in Hollywood. I'm sorry, Reese, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying black people still have to prove that our product is something worth producing across the board. Music, movies, TV shows, etc. We are constantly having to prove. And so the success of that movie continues down the path of allowing more black produced products, black starring films to be made, because I can guarantee you if it failed, it would have been just as much an indictment on the marketability of black people. And then we're not talking about spring chickens here. They're getting older, and the movie to me has matured along with them. So to have 50-plus-year-old action stars, I think that's a big deal. To whatever extent that you think it's a big deal that we have black entertainment, I think that's a big deal. So Stephen A. Smith, speak for yourself. You don't have to go see it. Don't matter. A whole bunch of people saw it, and mostly everybody that saw it loved it.